Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Blackburn. I'm a principal at Decisive Point. Prior to joining the team at Decisive Point, I spent about 7 years in the Navy as an explosive ordnance disposal technician. So I've been able to really leverage my time in service and experience as an end user and operator to help advise companies that are building in the defense sector. So a little bit about Decisive Point. We are an early stage venture capital firm. We focus on seed and Series A investments across the sectors of defense, energy, and infrastructure, but broadly technologies that impact our national security today. We also run an advisory practice, so we work with companies outside the scope of venture and help them with their government strategy. And then we partner with the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, different state agencies, and we run accelerator programs. So between all three lines of business, we work with a lot of companies building technology to meet national security challenges. And I think there are a couple key considerations that with the companies we worked with who are successful that truly understand the following considerations and can be successful in the space. And so first, I think companies that are successful understand the landscape and opportunity. So what appropriations align with requirements and what capabilities do they bring for those requirements? And this is all mostly open source information. This can be found in documents like JBooks. Secondly, as they're building, they're constantly interacting with the customer, with the end user, and they're building something that the warfighter needs today and that is flexible and scalable. And then they understand risk assessment, so they understand from a compliance or regulatory perspective what is required of them. They're able to leverage strategic partnerships because one person can't solve the world's issues. It usually takes a team to do such, so they can leverage defense primes, industry partners, procurement processes, and they also leverage non-dilutive funding for scaling their business. And these are contracts that exist within the FAR as well as contracts not in the FAR. So an example that ties, the elements I just mentioned and this concept of decentralization for both security and resilience is Firestorm, which is one of our portfolio companies. So Firestorm is building the future of modular open architecture unmanned aerial systems that support the warfighter's needs. They meet the needs of kind of a changing operational environment where traditional manned solutions really are no longer available. So they're self-supported platforms. They are 3D printed, low-cost modular UAS systems that they manufacture in their XL, which is essentially a Connex-sized facility, all in under 9 hours and can be done at the edge. And at the edge just means at kind of a location of for a deployed unit. And they are also able to align with additional mission areas that typical UAS systems can't align with. And those are, some of those areas include ISR, electronic warfare, kinetic solutions. So really just reflecting on kind of what they're doing, what they're building, they have been able to really identify a clear need and have been able to build this capability set faster and less costly. They've been able to combine through the team that they've built today, they've been able to combine both operational understanding of the warfighter needs as well as aerospace pragmatism. And that comes from kind of their own personal background as the team. And they've been able to establish this new rapid manufacturing module, which is, really a decentralized approach to advanced manufacturing. And then, as a result, they've been able to win a range of DoD contracts, and they've been able to raise private capital. So they just announced their seed fundraise of $12.5 million with Lockheed and others to kind of really help scale their team and product. So I just leave you with this example, this case study. It's just one example of how some of the companies that we've worked with have been able to provide these kind of self-supported platforms at the edge for the warfighter today. And it's technologies like these that enable our military to maintain levels of deterrence against both our enemies today and tomorrow. And so I think it just really brings to light the importance of decentralization and how it can apply to both security and resilience today. Thank you for your time.